I'm Natasha Chilingarian.
I'm Michael Ogden. This is Shared Accounts with CU Times. One of my favorite things about doing the show for the past 2+ years is we get to play games. And today is one of those times. We are revisiting a game we haven't done in several months, and we had a really good time the first time we did it. It's time to play Name That Hum. Here's how we play. So Natasha, producer Zach, and I, we have each picked 2 or 3 songs each. We don't know what we picked from our music library on our phones. Each of us gets a turn where we hum the song and the other two try to guess the song. I think I made it really easy last time. I haven't made it necessarily harder, but feel free to play along at home. See if you can guess.
Yeah.
Who wants to hum first?
I can go.
Okay, go ahead, Zach. Yeah.
Zach?
I put mine in easy to hard order, so this is my easy one.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
If you watched 70s children's television.
Oh, God, you're doing that. Oh. Okay, great.
Okay, let's see. All
You're
right,
up.
go for it.
Oh. What's the name of the song?
Phenomena.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wait, what show is it from?
It was the Muppets.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's it. Have you watched the new Muppet Show, Zach?
I haven't, but it is in honor of the revival that I will be watching that soon.
I hear it's good.
Yes.
Okay, Natasha, do you want to go? All right.
Okay, I'll go. I guess I'll go with this one. Okay, I'll go. This is the middle. Then there's an easier one, and then there's a harder one. I think so. Okay. All right, this is gonna be a fun one. All right, so. I have
no idea.
I got nothing.
Wait. Zach, you know it?
Oh, I want it that way.
Yay! Okay.
Okay.
Oh I've been seeing all these former classmates at the Backstreet Boys concerts.
Yeah, I believe my sister-in-law went and saw that.
Oh, funny, yeah. So yeah, that's good.
That was so fun. All right, good one. I will tell you, because I was all over the board last time. This time I focused on 2000s hits.
Okay? Oh, okay. Hopefully I'll get this then.
So I stuck right kind of in the first decade.
Okay.
Of the 2000s. Right. Where is my first one? Oh, God. You guys humming these songs have made me forget how these songs go.
It takes some brain power, yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this one. Okay. Here we go.
Oh. Rehab by Amy Winehouse.
Oh, that's
got it.
You're right. Yeah.
I just clicking. I have to do it an octave lower because I can't necessarily sing that high. Okay, got it. Good job, Zach. Okay, we want to do one more round. Let's do one more round.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do.
So this is more 80s.
Okay.
Pop, I guess.
Sure.
And my humming, just assume it's a saxophone.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Do I have to keep going or can I stop?
I don't know. I don't know this.
It's Careless Whisper by George Michael.
Oh. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah, a lot of people just know it as the sexy sax song.
Sexy sax song.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was
great. Okay. All right.
I just kind of assumed you weren't saying anything to see how long you could.
No, I was laughing.
Yeah, I heard that.
So I was trying to keep it together. Oh my God, that was a good one. I Am the Saxophone from George Michael's song. Okay. Natasha, you're up.
Okay, let's try this one. This is a more recent song. I think it came out in 2020. More popular.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. I'm just going to do the chorus.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got
Trying to think
nothing.
how else
I
it goes.
almost had it, I feel like.
Let's see how else. It's like, but yeah, that's like the main catchy part of it. I don't know
Oh.
actually anything else of it. Try it again.
Okay, wait. Can you do like one more round of it, kind of?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Pink Pony Club.
Hey, yeah, you got it.
Oh,
There it
Yeah.
is. It was on the tip of my stupid brain.
Chapel Roan, Pink Pony Club. Yeah, I actually just
Chaperone.
discovered that song like just in the past year.
That's
Yeah, it's a fun one.
hilarious.
And it's all about LA.
yeah.
Yeah.
LA, yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. All right.
So
Okay.
okay, one more from Michael.
Yeah, I'll do my last one.
Okay.
Or we'll do this for an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. I had to pull up the lyrics so I can stay with this. Okay. Here it goes. This is starting from the beginning of the song. There's my clue.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, is this
Oh,
Jimmy
no,
World?
Yeah.
oh, okay. See, this was
Here's the
yeah.
chorus.
Now I'm gonna have to look up how long till we get
See, I
copyright.
didn't listen to that. You're doing genres that I didn't really listen to
Jimmy
back
World,
then.
the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
You'll recognize.
See, if you had done like, I was thinking it was going to be like 50 Cent in the Club or like Promiscuous by Nelly Furtado. I would have gotten those,
No.
but not.
If anything, I would have done like Miles Davis, and
Okay,
you guys would never have gotten it.
Anyway.
Should we have looked up University of Oregon mid-2000s party songs?
Well, Portland, I guess. Yeah, I
Natasha
was out of
doing?
college, but yeah. Or I don't know if they were just, what were they playing? Yeah, in the club in downtown Portland in 2004.
Right. I hope you guys enjoyed that round or that game. I love that one. Okay, we'll do that one again. But honestly, we're going to make this show like a legit hour-long show if we keep doing this. But we will revisit that game. You guys were awesome. That was great. Everybody, welcome to Shared Accounts with CU Times. Coming up, we are chatting with Pam Cohen. She is COO at Affinity Federal Credit Union in Basking Ridge, New Jersey. We love New Jersey. About 40 miles west of New York City. Heard of it? Anyway, if you've been feeling stressed out about work, this episode is for you. We had a therapy session with her that I thought was really wonderful. Not really therapy, but she is going to be talking about all sorts of things about reducing work stress and improving work-life balance. She has a lot of boundary ideas that are so smart and so good.
Absolutely love it.
And she loves the credit union industry too. It was awesome. Anyway, before we get to that, first up, we do have to take our break for the week. Check in with Natasha. Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing fine. How about you?
Good. Doing okay. Yeah.
I loved that game.
I know.
Thanks for.
I could not get. I don't know. It like wasn't clicking in my brain today for some reason. But I guess they were songs that I didn't like. Unless it's a song you listen to like many times, I feel like it needs to get like it has to be a song that's like kind of melded in your brain, and then you're like, oh yeah. But yeah, otherwise it can be kind of a tough game. But yeah,
I want to ask really quick, and we kind of talked about it in between recordings there. But Zach, can you name what was your third song going to be?
Oh, I was going to do Cheap Trick, I Want You to Want Me.
Oh, yeah, great one. That would have been really good. Natasha, what was yours?
Mine was going to be a pretty easy one, I think. Take On Me from Aha.
Aha. That's a wonderful song. Great video. Mine was going to be 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton. But we went way long with the first two. So I was like, oh my God, we'll be on forever. So that was fun. We will absolutely do that again. And in fact, we should take requests from audience listeners, what games we should play. or even, give us some song recommendations.
Yeah, I like that idea. Yeah. Like, what other game shows can we kind
Yeah.
of do a tribute to through our version of the game?
Right. The
Yeah.
Gong Show. I don't know how we do that one, but yeah, a bunch of them. But I want to ask, Natasha, what have you been watching this past week?
Yeah, I'll just bring up. So I just finished a 3-part docuseries that came on Netflix that I'd heard about, and I was like, oh, gotta watch that.
Okay.
Because it was, speaking of the early 2000s, with our music stuff earlier in the show,
Yeah.
this was a show that was very popular throughout the 2000s. America's Next Top Model, with Tyra Banks as the host. I watched that. I wouldn't say I watched the whole thing because I think it went on for like close to 15 years. I don't know. It changed.
Oh my God,
it went through a lot of iterations, but there was like a period.
Huh.
I want to say it was like 2005 to 7-ish, late, mid to late 2000. I was always watching it. It was such a good show.
Yeah.
Now, did you? I'm just curious, Michael. I mean, did you ever watch the show or know about it?
No, I was
know about it.
I was aware of it.
Okay.
But I did not watch it. No.
Okay. Well, because obviously, like a lot of things, it didn't age too well.
I bet not.
A lot of things were really, really questionable, and they dove into that in the documentary, and it was just awful. It was just,
crap.
I mean, basically, like, this girl was essentially like assaulted, and they just recorded the whole thing and like made it her fault, like on public TV. It was just horrifying. And they showed her being interviewed today. It's like 25 years later, and she's still just like devastated by it. It's just awful.
I hate all of this.
I know.
You're telling me.
Yeah, they had the judges. Like, there was the Mr. J and Miss J. So Mr. J was Jay Manuel. He was like the makeup artist, creative director guy. And then Miss J was like the runway coach.
Okay.
Just awesome. But like Miss J, we found out he had a stroke in 2022, and now he can't walk. And it was just so sad to see him. He was still okay. Like, he had regained some of his speech, and he was being interviewed and all that. But he was just so sad. He was like, I taught all these girls to walk, and now I can't walk. So yeah.
I just hate all of this, Natasha.
I'm sorry. This was a really big downer, but
it's okay.
I was very fascinated. I really enjoyed the show, though.
Okay,
it was
good.
Was into like fashion and kind of that whole world. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, that's what I watched. What did you watch? Hopefully a little more uplifting.
I gotta say, the first time watch for me for this movie, it was one of those movies I was like, I don't want to watch this. And then it appeared in a new Criterion Channel collection.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, fine, I'll watch it. It was 1997's Face Off.
Face Off? Okay. All right.
Zach, I assume you've seen this movie?
I was literally about to hop on before you invited me. I love Face Off.
Okay. Okay. So
John Travolta, Nicolas Cage, gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd.
Hell yeah, you did.
but it was the dumbest movie. I mean, that waterfall face thing. What is that? You know what I'm talking about? Where they
they run their finger down.
Yes.
They just keep running their hands down the side of the other person's face.
So dumb. But the stunts were amazing. There was a lot of cool stuff like that. But my God, what a stupid movie. But had a great time watching it.
The best part is they established the characters as themselves. So when the face-off happens, it's John Travolta playing Nicolas Cage and Nicolas Cage playing John Travolta. It is an acting tour de force.
But I will say this, my observation, John Travolta absolutely nailed it. Nicolas Cage did not, playing John Travolta. John Travolta played Nick Cage well, but not the other way around, I don't think. But here's my review, Zach, and you may agree with this. Natasha, have you seen this movie?
I have not seen it, but I'm really enjoying this conversation. It's reminding me of like an old like Siskel and Ebert debate over a movie. No, I thought this.
2 white guys yelling about a movie. But this was the review. 4 stars. This was the absolute hardest way to solve every problem, but somehow it all worked out perfectly. That was the movie. Okay. Anyway, had fun. Face off.
Well, that was it. Yeah. Well, Zach, glad you got to express your
enthusiasm
for a movie. We should do more. We should pick movies where one of us like doesn't like the movie, but the other one loves it, and then do like a debate. That might be fun.
Maybe. I will tease this for other episodes. Currently on an adventure movie-wise with a very specific series I've never seen before. I will fill you all in future episodes.
Okay. Looking
That's
forward
all
to
I'm going to
that.
say. Very popular series of movies that I stayed away from, and now I am like, okay, I'm in it right now.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, let's move. So, for the sake of not working too much today,
sure,
like Pam would approve of, who's all
let's.
about the balance in life and not working too much or too much
Mhm.
to a point where you burn yourself out. Yeah. Let's move on to our interview. Pam talks about how she said she really transitioned from being the girl who was working through her PTO, putting it all in, being everything, to now someone who really is embracing balance and well-being and really is setting that tone for her employees, which is
Yeah,
awesome. So we get to hear all about that. She talks about how the time of COVID, we go back there. Yeah,
we go
it's
back.
a world ago, but how that kind of brought in some gifts in terms of acceptance of more
Hmm.
work-life balance. So we get
Yeah,
to talk about that. Yeah, it's just a great conversation. We also
so
get to
nice.
hear Pam and Michael are having a little bonding moment over music at the end, which we always love.
Can I tell
Here
you
for that.
something? A
Yeah.
little spoiler on that.
Okay.
Since we finished the interview, Pam and I have been texting back and forth
I love
about
it. Yeah.
a band. We'll
That
talk about it
is
later in the episode.
making new connections.
Yes,
Yes. New
super
buddies. I
great.
love it. So stay tuned. We have all of that coming up next. Joining us in the virtual studio today is Pam Cohen. She is the Chief Operating Officer at Affinity Federal Credit Union out in Basking Ridge, New Jersey, out in the New York City metropolitan area.
Yeah.
Hey, Pam. Welcome to Shared Accounts. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm doing
Great.
good. Thank you. Thanks for
Pam,
joining us.
before we get going, Pam, I know you guys have actually had a rough winter. Yeah.
We have. We have. It's been, for a California girl, it's been a little rough for me.
Okay. Well, thoughts and prayers about that, I guess.
Okay. Well, we'll have to talk about California more. That's where I'm based.
Yeah.
I'm out in LA. So we're having rain, which I hate to complain about. Makes me feel kind of guilty,
Yeah.
with all this crazy winter weather.
Fine.
But anyway, okay. Well, hopefully you're staying warm, Pam. But yeah, so let's just get started. I know this is your first time on the pod here, so welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how long have you been with Affinity Federal Credit Union?
I've been with Affinity for 9 years, if you can believe it.
Oh,
Seems like
wow.
much longer in
Okay.
a good way.
Great. Okay. And so it sounds like you've had a number of just different HR roles outside of the credit union industry prior to joining Affinity. So I was just wondering kind of how you made that transition from some of these, just working kind of strictly in HR and some other industries and then going to the credit union. Was there something that drew you to the credit union specifically when you joined?
Yes, Natasha. Honestly, when I applied for the job, the fact that Affinity had a foundation that gave back to
Oh,
others attracted me. And
Hmm.
then when I did more research and I found at the time that leadership team, most of them lived out of state and commuted, I thought this must be a great place to work.
oh yeah.
So I want to ask, and it's odd that we're still asking this question, but sometimes we do have to kind of go back in time during COVID days. So with your 9 years, that puts you in kind of before COVID times and now post COVID. Well, you can debate about post COVID, I guess. But I want to ask, Pam, when everybody went remote, at least kind of temporarily, which for a lot of people caused the line between work life and home life to blur, and it led to some burnout. Really, how did Affinity handle that shift to remote work during COVID? And was this an issue for you all at all?
I think that it was. I mean, remember when we sent people home, we thought
Hmm.
it was going to be for 2 weeks, and we didn't know what COVID looked like,
Oh my gosh.
right? And so it was so scary back then, and it created this, not only, like you said, this work life blur,
Hmm.
because remember that was before people even had Zoom or could put up these fake backgrounds. So you were getting this look into people's homes that you probably wouldn't have seen of
Yeah.
your coworkers.
Right.
And that created to me a lot of, I think being home created a lot of isolation. It created that blur. There
Hmm.
was no longer your work persona and your home persona that commuting time was no longer there. It didn't give you that time to shift into being a mom, a partner, whatever you are at home. You were constantly on. And to me, it created just a lot of mental health issues and loneliness. And so we tried to do a lot to combat the loneliness.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Can I pop in really quick? I remember in those early days with America's credit unions specifically, that they were having a real problem. There was an employee we worked with a lot back then. She and her husband were both working at the same dining room table all day long for their separate jobs. And that, they admitted caused a lot of stress at home.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'll just jump in here. It's funny, thinking back, you think of those funny things like that lawyer who appeared as a cat and, couldn't fix the thing. And the girl whose boyfriend like walked by in his underwear, and it's funny, but it's actually, it wasn't funny when you really think back. It was terrifying and it was depressing and causing mental health issues. So, okay, but yeah, let's dive a little bit deeper into that. So when you go back, you kind of think about how, work really changed, at that point in 2020 when everyone was sent home. And then, like you said, it ended up, you thought it would be 2 weeks and then it ended up being longer. And I feel like there's some people where they did the lockdown at home and then they were like eager to get back to the office and back to how it was before. And then for some other people, it seemed like maybe there were some changes that were made that just ended up sticking around. Like maybe there was some positive things that stuck around, like, just giving people more grace, more flexibility or things like that. So I was just kind of curious from your perspective at Affinity, when you think about that time period since COVID, how did work change and what kind of changes were really just temporary and were done by the time, we came out of COVID? And were there any changes that ended up becoming like positive things that stuck around for longer?
I think what stuck around in a very positive way is that we lost the stigma that surrounds mental health. I'm a big mental health advocate. And I think it's okay now to say, you know what, this is too much, or I'm feeling anxious today, or I need to go for a mental health check-in, not check yourself in, but go see a therapist for a couple sessions. Those sorts of things, I think, have become the norm. I also think that there's a greater acceptance of hybrid or remote work. Yeah. Before, there was an expectation, probably a desk check. Are they here? It's 9 o'clock. Are they here? Are they here?
Yeah, right.
And now it's a gift because parents can be there when their kids get off the bus, or you can check in on your elderly parents, whatever it is. I think that's a gift. And the other thing I think is that things like this, the reliance on technology to communicate, is truly a gift. It used to be you'd have to have these in-person meetings. Now there's so many different ways to effectively communicate with one another that's a positive outcome.
Right, absolutely. Okay, and also just to follow up on that, is there a chunk of employees at Affinity that are still working remotely? Like, did that change the number of people who were working remotely, like permanently or hybrid at Affinity?
It did, and we were an in-office 5 days a week shop, and we never hired outside of our footprint. And now we have the flexibility to hire outside our footprint. We probably are a 60-40 split where we have 60% being either fully remote or on some sort of hybrid.
Nice.
We never made the mandate that you have to come back to the office. It's what works best for you personally and professionally.
That's great.
All right, Pam, I want to ask about some best tips for reducing job-related stress. And it sounds like you all have a real handle on it and are appreciative of boundaries. That's something companies and credit unions don't often have. But what would you say are some of your tips for that reduction of job-related stress, whether you're remote or you're commuting, you're in office?
It's harder to do. It's easier to say, but it takes some discipline and some support from your leadership teams to make it socially and culturally acceptable.
Good point.
But I think things like time blocking, where you can block out certain portions of your day to do work, to answer emails, to do administrative things, to to take your meetings. That one's harder.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can mentally adjust and take some time in between those blocks to prepare for the next block, I think it's a bit easier.
What can you talk about? Like, what does that look like? What do those strategies really look like in real life?
In real life, I do it a bit. I block out the first hour of the day
Mhm.
to get myself to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do for the day. This is my big ticket item I need to get done.
Mm-hmm.
This is how the rest of my day is going to go. This is what I need to prep for. So it allows me the time to really make sure I bring my best self forward. If I have meetings the minute I walk in the door, I'm not very present, and it creates issues because then I'm thinking about everything else that needs to get done. And you get that stress on you that you're like, okay, all right, this is too much.
Can I ask, when did you learn that about yourself? That you needed that?
It took me a while because I wanted to be everything to everyone and thought that me being the best leader possible would be being available 24/7 to everybody.
Ugh. Yeah.
But I think one of the things that credit unions struggle with is trying to be everything to everyone. And I think leaders do the same thing. So probably wasn't until after COVID, to be quite honest, because during COVID, you were on 24/7 trying to take care of your employees.
Right.
Yeah. No, and that's a good point you make about the leadership has to kind of set the tone and make it appropriate, because I think if, like, there's been experiences where, if a manager is like texting you at like 7 p.m. or emailing you at that time or on your day off, that can feel like, oh, well, I guess I'm supposed to be on all the time, and if the leader's setting the tone, but if the leader is setting boundaries and helps kind of, everyone else can follow the lead. But yeah, I wanted to kind of expand on that a little bit. Another thing is, and you're an HR expert, so obviously in benefits is an important part of, the employer's way of helping the employee, get their time off and use benefits to help them in their lives. What does, I guess, using your benefits intentionally look like to you?
That's a great question. I think part of that is your own mindset, right? And that I'm too busy, I can't go to the doctor because I've got this meeting or I have this commitment, or I can't take time off because my team will think I'm not committed or they're not taking PTO. So I think it's checking your own mindset first and then being a little bit planful about it. Take your PTO, plan it in advance and not just when you're feeling burnt out or stressed. Make sure you go to your annual checkups. I look at it this way. Your best employees are the ones that use the rest, whether it's mental or physical, strategically, because that allows them to think more clearly and just helps them show up to work in their best way.
Yeah. You can't pour from an empty cup, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We should really have you, Pam, as kind of our de facto HR consultant. No, Michael, you must take some time off.
Well, that is, I would say,
Natasha,
Michael needs to. I try to use, I think last year was the first year I didn't get to use all of it. And I don't, for whatever reason, but then we were able to carry over the days, which is nice.
Right.
But yeah, that's something. I'm also just curious. Let's say you're an employee at a credit union and the culture there is that people aren't using all their time off, and maybe there's kind of a consensus that if you take time off, then you're you're dumping work on someone else because they have to cover, or you're not working as hard. How can someone approach doing that and not feel guilty about it when there is kind of a tone being set that time off is sort of like a problem for other people?
I think that the leadership, honestly, it comes from the leadership. It's all top down. And so I think that if you're in a psychologically safe culture or environment, you can speak up and say, I feel this or I need this. And your leadership should be able to say, absolutely. Do what you need to do. If your leadership and your culture doesn't support it, I'm not sure there's a lot that you can do about that other than being firm in taking what time off you need and making sure you're not responding to emails or taking meetings when you're out.
Yep.
Have you found, Were you able to work on that kind of situation at the credit union, to make sure all the executives, the managers were on the same page in that way? Or is it still kind of like a individual personal issue of how people manage?
I'll tell you, I was the queen of working through my PTO.
I hear you.
And you talked about carryover. I think I lost half of my PTO a few years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't come to this conclusion years ago. It's taken me a long time to get to this point. So now I'm very intentional, and I think our leadership team is very intentional about respecting the boundaries of our employees when they take time off and being respectful of one another when we take time off.
Good.
And you know what? I just have to throw this in here before I ask the next question. But I feel like that whole, because my partner actually, his job, they have the unlimited PTO. That's their thing. But I feel like that's a trap because you end up just following what others are doing. So I know there was like one year where like all these people were just taking these long international trips and taking weeks off. So that's what everyone did. And then suddenly it shifted. They had all this work to do that no one took any time off, and it's just stayed that way. And I'm like, you need to, he's like, oh, but I don't know. That's just my opinion about that. I don't think that's a good way to go about it. So Pam, now that you have shifted to a healthier way of working instead of working through your PTO, can you just maybe take us through what your typical workday looks like and what kinds of rules that you follow or things that you implement into your routine to make sure you're maintaining your own well-being?
Sure. So, like I said before, I will block off the first hour of the day so that I can prepare myself for the day and see where I need to focus.
Yeah.
I also, at the end of the day, look at what the next day is going to bring. So that, again, it's about the mental preparedness and the energy level that I need to bring to work, because sometimes your energy level is not at 100%. Right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at it a week in advance. What are the things that I need to do next week and prepare for in my blocked off time that I have? And I also look at where can I catch a 3 or 4 day weekend, because I find that if I'm working a lot, I want to put in a 3-day weekend or a 4-day weekend. I don't need the full week of PTO, but having that extra day or two does a lot for my mental health.
Yeah.
Really does.
I got to say, Pam, do you work hybrid?
No.
No, you're in office all the time?
I am, and the reason for that is I'm part of the branch team as well, and I feel like to support them fully, they're there every day, and I should be there right with them. I may not be in the branches, but I want them to know that I'm here.
Well, because I only kind of asked for that clarification because you're taking that hour physically there at the office, which I think is very important to point out. For us, remote, CU Times, we've always been remote, like forever. And for me, I'm an early bird. So my hour and a half in the morning from like 6 a.m. till 7:30 or so, I don't talk to anybody. I go through my email. I delete a lot of email. And then I do what you do is organize, but I do it from the comfort of, my home office. And I have
no one can knock on the door. That's
whatever. But okay, cool. You're making a lot of healthy choices. And I want to ask about those because I guess what I want to ask is what are some signs that the healthiest choices for someone might be to find a new job if they can't find these boundaries? What are some strategies maybe they should be looking at their current job at a credit union to improve their well-being before they move on?
So I think that's a great question because, you sometimes feel that constant burnout or not being connected or, that your energy is being drained consistently, and it makes you think, am I in the right place?
Yeah.
Before that, again, try taking that time off. If a week seems insurmountable, take 2 days and do no emails, no meetings. You might want to try finding a support network, try finding a buddy at work. Sometimes just having somebody that you can talk to about what you're feeling and going through is helpful. The other thing sometimes I try to do is remember the why. What's my purpose here? Why did I come here? What are the things that bring me joy in my job? And if I focus on that, things seem to get a little bit better.
Sure. Can I ask you your why?
My why?
Yeah.
I get the biggest kick out of watching the team of leaders that I work with be their best selves. That's my first why. And my second why is I really, really enjoy being able to give back. I grew up without a lot. And so being able to give back is just an incredible feeling.
Thank you for sharing that, Pam.
Oh, well, and that goes back to, you said one of the things that appealed to you was the foundation work. Yeah, it's awesome. Well, okay, so let's say they just can't make it work. It's just a toxic environment, whatever. You decide you need to just maybe try to find something else. When someone is interviewing for a new job or looking at jobs, what were like some red flags or green flags to look out for in a new employer to see if you think they'll be better able to meet your needs for your well-being?
I think some of the red flags are things in the interview where people say, we expect everyone to give 110%. We're a work hard, play hard culture, or we have a hustle culture. We're here to get things done no matter what.
Oh boy, yeah.
Which is great, but at what expense, right? It's great if you can do it, but not at the expense of your employees and their ability to have a balance in life. What I think some of the green flags would be are having that consistent and positive messaging from the people you're interviewing with about culture. You can tell when their body language matches the answers when they're talking about benefits, the benefits of working for the company. I would honestly, this is one time where I would say, trust your gut.
Well, okay. We're talking about some heavy stuff here, I'm realizing, and I do feel like I am in therapy, and I love therapy. I'm a huge pro-therapy person. Kind of last question here, or maybe a couple of questions. If somebody does decide to take a new job due to burnout in their current gig at a credit union, how should they approach the conversation with their manager about why they're leaving? And then I have a follow-up question.
I'm a big believer in the fact that the world is pretty small. And you never know who you'll run into and in what role they'll be in your future.
That's true, yeah.
So I would try to keep it professional at all times. You can talk about the needs you have and how maybe your needs aren't being met. But it's not your job, really, to fix a lousy culture. But if you feel safe doing so, point out a few things that may be pain points as long as it's professional. You're taken much more seriously when you're professional instead of saying, this is horrible, this is horrible, this is bad.
So you do kind of think that they should provide feedback, but maybe only if their manager they've learned that they're accepting of that kind of feedback?
Yeah, I think if you work in an environment that's a toxic culture, think about what you're trying to accomplish by providing that feedback. Do you think it will change anything? If you're doing it because you need to make yourself feel better, then yes, please go ahead, but just do so in a professional manner.
Right.
Yeah, I think the credit union world is kind of small, so you're right. You don't want to like totally burn a bridge or be like totally ridiculous or unprofessional. Yeah. Okay. No,
I love this conversation.
I love this topic. Yeah. I find it really fascinating. And I will say I have ignored some red flags in some, but this is pre-credit union stuff, like years ago.
This has nothing to do with me then. Okay, great.
No. You were the good one, Michael.
Thank you.
It was like, yay, a manager who respects boundaries and cares about mental health.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I love this, Pam. I think we need more people like you.
Absolutely.
And all that. Any final thoughts before we move on to part 2, which is just a fun part about you? Any final thoughts that you want to share about, just the credit union industry and how they can do a better job of maintaining work-life balance for their employees?
Honestly, the credit union industry does a really terrific job. I think that, the whole movement was based on empathy for those that didn't have or couldn't have.
Yeah.
And I think that's carried through. So I think we're a better employer of choice than maybe a lot of for-profit organizations.
That's well put.
That is true. Yeah, they need to, and then, live up to that, obviously. Okay, well, Pam, let's go ahead and move on to part 2 of our interview. So this is going to be all about you.
All about Pam.
Ready?
Ready.
Okay, great. Okay, so first of all, this still takes us back to the very beginning of our conversation. What is your hometown? Where did you grow up?
My hometown is San Francisco.
Oh, wow. Like in the city of San Francisco proper or outside?
Both.
Okay.
We've moved a lot as a kid.
Okay.
I lived in Walnut Creek for a little while. Pretty familiar with the area. So, yeah.
Best dumplings I've ever had out there.
Where, Walnut Creek or
No,
San
in San
Francisco?
Francisco.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I
So,
was going to then
yeah.
follow that up with, and this is, I guess this was probably more of a question for someone with like a small, obscure hometown, but what's something unique about your hometown that you just can't do anywhere else in the US?
You go on a tour of Alcatraz, you could cheer on the 49ers,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
great things.
Absolutely.
Wait, so do you still root for the 49ers and the Giants?
Absolutely.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Absolutely, to everyone's dismay on the East Coast.
Stick to your guns.
Nice.
Did you ever go to the Giants baseball games?
No, I never did.
I haven't either, and I would love to go to that stadium.
Me too.
So do you miss it?
Absolutely.
Do you ever go back?
I did go back just 2 years ago, and it felt like coming home.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so when did you move out of San Francisco then?
Probably when I was about 10, when we moved to New Jersey, and I thought, really? Who lives here?
Oh my God, the New Jersey Board of Tourism really hates that. But let me ask you then, so you must have lived in New Jersey for this question. What was your first ever paid summer or after school job?
Oh my gosh, I had a paper route.
Oh my gosh.
That, let me tell you, at 12, 13 years old,
Okay.
doing a paper route when it was raining and snowing,
Gross.
took a lot not to dump the papers in the sewer and keep on going.
Oh my gosh.
What was the paper you delivered?
The Courier News.
Okay. And how long did you do that gig?
I did that for about a year and then graduated to cleaning houses.
Oh.
Okay.
Hmm.
So which one was better out of those two?
Honestly, cleaning houses, you could see the immediate impact.
Okay.
And you didn't have to go begging for money when you were collecting for the paper.
God. Good point.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Oh, that's funny. So was it on bike or on foot that you did the papers?
Bike.
Bike.
Oh
Good.
wow.
Okay.
Okay, good for you. Yeah, it's funny. You are the second guest in a row that said that was their first job.
You're right.
Paper route. Yeah, and I think the third guest total that we've ever had who did a paper route.
We keep track of these things, Pam. It's pretty funny.
It's a good way to get started.
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay, so next question. This is kind of a random fun one. So I'm going to list the names of several TV shows that feature a workplace, like an office setting, workplace as setting for the TV show. And I'm going to list them and I'm going to have you say, if you had to go into one of those TV shows and be their HR manager, which one would you pick? Okay, so here are the shows. Again, I don't know if you've seen all of them or not. So if you haven't seen one, then just don't pick that one. So the first one would be Mad Men. That's,
Okay.
60s male-dominated times. It's a little different then. Severance,
Okay.
creepy science fiction thing. Then The Office, a classic one, obviously, the US version of The Office.
Mhm.
Industry, that's a newer show on HBO, kind of a scandalous type of an environment, I guess.
Great job.
Michael watches it,
I love
apparently. I haven't seen it. And then the other one would be Mary Tyler Moore Show, so
Great
like
show.
kind of classic older show. Yeah, which one of those would you pick?
That's tough, but I think the Mary Tyler Moore Show, and probably not for the reason people would suspect.
Oh.
I mean, when you think about the times, right? Women were just getting into the workplace,
Yeah.
and not that they were just getting into the workplace, but they were in positions where it could be recognized that they were making a difference. And even though there was this back and forth between Mary Tyler Moore and Lou Grant, he still was fairly as supportive as a grumpy old boss could be.
Yeah.
And I don't think necessarily women always got that in the workplace.
You're right.
It would have been nice to be the HR manager someplace that seemed a bit more progressive.
Right, absolutely. That's a
Great
good
answer.
answer.
You would have come down hard on the Ted Knight character.
I know. I was thinking about that as I was giving my answer.
Oh, that's great. Okay, going back to your childhood or whateverhood, what was the first album, CD, piece of music you remember buying or listening to?
I'll age myself here.
That's the point.
It was an album, Styx, Paradise Theater, because it had that laser etched holograph on it, and I thought that was so cool.
Can I tell you something? My brother just went and saw them in Vegas.
Oh my gosh.
Where we grew up in rural Arkansas, we were never able to see anybody. But he saw them just recently in Vegas, and he was like, everybody is so old in the audience. But he was like, they're still really fun. Mr. Robato's really dumb song, but they did a lot of Paradise from that album, which was a great album.
Yeah, I loved it.
Oh, so good. I think you are the first Styx.
I think so too, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so good. What was your favorite song from that? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I have to look some up.
I just used to listen to it over and over and over again in my room.
Yeah, I'm looking up Styx, Paradise album. I have to look. Still a great album cover. Rockin' the Paradise. Too Much Time on My Hands. Great song.
Yes.
Best of Times. Great song.
Oh, I'm sure Best of Times, because as you know, a teenager going through angst, that was that probably spoke to me quite a bit.
Yeah. We the best of time. Yeah. Great album. Okay.
Okay,
I'll
great.
shut up about Styx.
No.
Good answer.
Okay, Pam, final question for today. What was the last movie you watched?
I will be honest with you, I'm not much of a movie watcher.
Okay.
I binge watch a lot. And so the last thing that I binge watched was Queer Eye, because I keep thinking that the Fab Five is going to knock on my front door and give me a total makeover and redo my house.
Boy.
Didn't they just end?
They did.
Okay.
So I had to binge watch that last season last weekend.
How was it?
Is that on Netflix or?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You know, I am with you, Pam. I'm a show watcher too, not so much movies.
Pam, what did you think of the last season?
I thought it was too short, to be honest. I was looking for the rest of the episodes, but I just love how they go in and make everything over, and then the people that they're impacting.
Yeah.
I don't know. They get to be seen for who they are, and they get a fresh start.
There's a lot of heart in that show. There always has.
Yes.
Been. Oh, great answer.
That's awesome. Yeah, and anything with style is fun. I was actually watching, just finished last night, the America's Next Top Model documentary.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about it in the intro, Michael.
We'll talk about it in the intro, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun, and they interview everyone today, and it, of course, made me feel like, oh wow, I've aged quite a bit, because you see the people from 25 years ago and then today. But there's one guy, the J. Manuel, has not aged at all. I mean, he still looks gorgeous, like just the same way he looked back then. So anyway, that was an interesting watch.
Oh, that's good. Well, Pam, I really hope one day the Queer Eye Gang gets back together and comes to your house.
Yeah.
I could be nominated if they get back together.
Okay. I'll put in the nomination. Oh, that's wonderful.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, Pam Cohen, the COO at Affinity Federal Credit Union, thank you so much for coming on the show today. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you both. This has been wonderful.
Thank you, Pam.
All right. And to all of our listeners, thank you for downloading today's show. Please subscribe to Shared Accounts with CU Times and all of the normal podcast places. And please be sure to share our episodes with everyone you know, coworkers, friends, families, relatives, pets, whoever.
Anybody. Feel free to rate us too. 5 stars. We love it. But as always, I do want to thank our producer, Zach Nyheisel. Thanks, Zach. So everybody join us again next time for a new episode of Shared Accounts with CU Times. Until then, thanks for listening.